Good afternoon, everyone. Our first speaker for this event is a team of 3 outstanding current college students of Negros Oriental State University and Silliman University. They are high school graduates of the Ramon Teves Pastor Memorial Dumaguete Science High School. Since elementary, they have been continuously active in a multitude of activities and conferences in science, mathematics, and journalism. They have also been affiliated in different student organizations, including the RTPM DSHS Supreme Student Government, Researchers Alliance of Do Science, and the Youth for Environment in Schools organization. Their overflowing interest in research and development allowed them to perform their own research studies, including an air quality monitoring drone with geographic information system prototype, and the bioaccumulation of lead and phosphate contaminated water using Ricinus communis plant. This year, their collaborative pursuit of scientific innovation allowed for the development of Project WWW, a multifunctional wastewater web for agribotics. This became their entry in the DOST SEI's 4th I Make We Make, Create, Innovate, Collaborate Research Competition, where they have been awarded the DOST SEI Youth Innovation Prize Award. Because of these outstanding scientific feats, they have also been recognized by RTPM Dumaguete Science High School as Researchers of the Year in 2019 and this year, 2021. Everyone, I am truly honored to introduce to you the first speaker for Horizon, the team behind Project WWW, Ms. Erica Elaine Diputado, Ms. Angie Luzano Merecido, and Ms. Shona Espina Tifora, the team WWW.
Hello, good day to everyone who is listening. I am Erica Elaine Diputado, and these are my colleagues.
I am Shona Espina Tifora.
And I am Angie Luzano Merecido.
And we are the people behind Project WWW, a multifunctional wastewater web for agrobotics. And before all that, we would like to thank the Junior Philippine Institute of Chemical Engineers of Batangas State University for giving us this opportunity to share our experiences and insights regarding the theme Horizon, Youth's Unbreakable Pursuit of Scientific Innovations Amidst Pandemic. Okay, so we will begin sharing our story.
So we started our research journey way back when we first entered high school. We had a subject regarding research, and back then we hated it. For me personally, I hated it.
Me too. Because?
Okay. I hated it because I had bad groupmates when it was grouping.
But then, after that, when we were in grade 10, it was the spark of our research life.
So it's actually the beginning of like serious research, because when we were still in grade 7 to grade 9, it was like simple researches. Mga pahapyaw lang na research. And then grade 10, we were really required to make a complete research study, and we will be having school science fair. So within our school, all grade 10 will be competing with the 3 categories: life science, physical science, and robotics. So
there we were really desperate to do our study, because if we won't get on the regional level, we would do individual research, and that's scary.
Yeah, it was scary. So we really had to give it our all the first chance we got.
And in that journey, in grade 10, we experienced a lot of
ups and downs, sleepless nights, cries, and fights with our group mates.
And
It
rejections
was normal. We even had fights with our classmates.
Yeah.
It was a rough time. So we went through our school research, then we competed inter-school fair, and then we went to the division level, and fortunately we were able to make it to the regional level. So back in 10th grade, we were actually part of different teams. Our team, the both of us, we were under robotics, and the title of our study was
Air Quality Monitoring Drone with Geographic Information System Prototype. And
while theirs was under physical science, which was entitled
Bioaccumulation of lead and phosphate contaminated water using tangan-tangan or Ricinus communis plant in a hydroponic solution.
And you could really see that there's a huge gap with the sciences and the processes we pursued, since ours was more technical while theirs was more experimental based. And but somehow that kind of like helped us today with our project that was able to incorporate both robotics and physical science.
Yeah. We created a prototype with a mixture of.
With Project WWW.
And after that, thankfully we won and got onto the regional level. Then in the regional level, we placed second, and then you placed.
And then third, so I was in the individual category, so they were still in the team category.
We really didn't expect to win because compared to other studies, there were other studies that incorporated drones, since that was what was also
drone.
Back then.
So when we were in the regional level, so I was supposed to be in the team level, but during the division level, I was told by one of my teacher to change my category into individual because our study is somehow weak. So it was disappointing at first, but then I made that into a motivation, and then when I reached the regional level, the same thing happened. Some of my competitors that time asked me why is my study lacking with statistics and some other parts, and they were like doubting me with the study, and I was really disappointed with our study that time. So I wasn't expecting to win any place at all that time, and we were almost 20 or more that
20 or
time.
more.
And then there will be only 3 winners that
Top
time.
3.
So
Then
I really didn't expect.
also, I realized that our experience was really helpful now for us, since we knew our strengths and weaknesses at that time, and yeah, it helped us in molding ourselves now. And
It helped us discover an inclination towards the sciences, towards research, which is why we stayed curious and joined the competition like I Make, We Make.
Yeah, and also before that, we were desperate. We were confident after we won regional level. Then we were given the opportunity to present our study in the National Climate Change Conference last 2018. And then there we also had a lot of insights regarding different studies from different places, from Mindanao, Luzon.
There we met a lot of professionals, a lot of experts in the field of weather forecasts and stuff, which was the field of our study. And there we were criticized by them, and at first we felt down, since it was quite intimidating for us
To hear those
teenagers
facts.
to hear those, ay, hindi dapat ganyan kasi ano yan, kasi ganyan dapat ganito. And then we felt down.
Yeah, but then we realized that it was helpful in the end.
Yeah, we learned a whole lot.
Yeah, from that conference only. Then after that, we joined more different seminars like Shell and Explorers, right?
Yeah.
Then after different contests, after those experiences, the foundation, I would say, the foundation of our study now is, we had a competition before, like our competition was about making a research proposal on the spot, like in 4 hours, and then we were given a very specific problem to solve, and the problem was filtering laundry wastewater that goes into the river. Then we thought that why not mix the technological aspect and the physical aspect of science. Then we thought of her study, which was bioaccumulation of lead and phosphate, and we researched that detergents has a lot of phosphates, and somehow the water also has lead then there.
The very foundation
So
of
that-
Project WW
so-
was their competition, since that was where the idea came from.
Yeah, it started there. Then after that, we planned before the pandemic
We
happened. We
planned
planned
to-
a lot.
We
Planned to join a different competition.
Yeah.
the Shell one. And then we weren't able to join because of conflicting schedules, and also the pandemic happened that time. So we thought that maybe it's not our time. So
Yeah.
we still have 1 year left of high school. So we thought of joining or looking for
Different contests.
competitions regarding research, even if the pandemic is still ongoing that time. When we were in grade 12, so we were graduating that time, so we thought of making a large contribution to not just our school, but we are really passionate about research,
Research.
so we want to pursue that. And then we saw we make a proposal or the competition,
Call
and
for
they
entries.
call for entries, and then we
Facebook.
we tried to join.
We were determined to join contests because it was our last year, and we have this term in Bisaya, like hunat or push. It was our last hunat since we wanted to gain experience talaga in research before getting into college. And then our study.
So we first proposed a study that was named Project Familia. So
Our initial project title was called Project Familia, but in the middle of our research process, we tried telling the facilitator or moderators that we will be changing it into the name Project WW for the briefness and conciseness of a title. It has its own impact.
And also we would like to to explain our study, since after we won, there are a lot of articles in those articles our study wasn't that expounded, right?
yeah, they
So-
only mentioned that we
Yeah.
filtered wastewater,
Yeah.
and
So-
that's it.
Yeah. So now we have this opportunity to explain our system.
So our project is called WWW. It is a multifunctional device because it is used for 3 things. Actually, not more than 3 things, but we focused more on the filtration, monitoring, and the irrigation system.
So yung unang part,
So in the first part po, we are filtering we are still gathering pa data from the wastewater. So
We had a lot of sensors
Sensors.
attached to
in that first setup, as you can see in the container, there are sensors there. And
attached.
those sensors are lead, pH, turbidity, and color sensor.
in our device, we have 3 tiers. So the filtration system, the monitoring system, and the irrigation system. So in the filtration system, we have the tangan-tangan. This plant is actually on my study that I shared a while ago. So
Bioaccumulation.
it has been found that tangan-tangan can accumulate lead and phosphate from the wastewater. So tangan-tangan is filtering the toxic chemicals in the wastewater, and then we have the biological filter. So we use this filter. This is actually already known. For example, the fine sands, charcoal, activated charcoal, and a lot more. So that is the part of the filtration system. And then next we have the monitoring system. So in the monitoring system, that is actually the first step. Before we will filter the wastewater, we will monitor its condition in the first place. So in the monitoring system, we have a lot of sensors integrated, and also after filtration, we will also monitor again the condition of the wastewater. So we will make sure if the condition of the water is safe for irrigation system. So if it is okay, good to go, then our prototype will automatically put the water into the irrigation system, and our irrigation system is actually automated.
Yeah, it's controlled by a microcontroller, the Arduino, and also we have AI. We have facial recognition there. Yeah, we do. There, and also it is IoT, the Internet of Things. So it's connected to the internet. So if we go to another place, we can see the data. What's the humidity? What's the moisture or the level of lead or phosphate in our prototype?
So what were our inspirations that led to the creation of our project, and how can it help to improve people's lives? So basically what she said, she started to their study on the spot research was actually the foundation of this project, and then we thought of continuing it and improving it. And the main goal of this is to actually help in the water pollution. Especially our school is really an advocate of zero waste or sustainability. So we thought of doing something that is related to that matter, that can actually help and improve the condition of our environment.
So yeah, that was our goal. And also We Make was focusing on having a microcontroller on a study. So what were our problems encountered during our study journey?
Our biggest problems were support and our finances, where to get financial support from. Since we're students, we don't have jobs, and research is very costly time-wise and money-wise. So
we really invested in the research. So it's actually a whole year duration. So
10 months.
Almost one year.
Almost 1 year.
So the cost of our research is actually expensive, but then our institution, which is RTPM, DSHS, and actually the OST, has helped us to shoulder some of the expenses of our study. Then we also encountered COVID-related problems.
we didn't have a permanent place to stay. We couldn't stay at each of our homes because there were a lot of people.
Yeah, and in school.
And in school, we were only limited to go to the lab. But then, when teachers are isolated, we cannot also proceed with the experimentation because we are not allowed to go to the laboratory. So, actually, the pandemic has hindered our
movement.
some of our innovative ideas. So we didn't have enough time to actually improve our study more because of the pandemic. One thing is that our city, Dumaguete, actually became a hotspot, a COVID hotspot that time when we were finishing our prototype, and it was near our deadline already. So we were really struggling with our academics that time, and also on how we can continue our study. And that made us realize that the pandemic is an eye-opener of determination and perseverance.
We were more resourceful since we have less movement there at that time. So we had to do different tasks and search for different materials that could be of use in our study.
Also, the pandemic taught us that we shouldn't stick on the plan. We should be more innovative and think outside the box and think about more alternatives onto what we can do if we fail to do this certain thing.
So, what were our dilemmas in our study?
Since we were in an online setting, we couldn't meet up every single day to work on our project. Unlike if we were in school every day, we would have time after classes or during lunch breaks to work on our research. But then since pandemic happened, we had to work on one day each week, and we could only do so much in one day. We had very
Yeah. We only had to do one specific task in that day, then we're done.
we're done for the week.
Yeah.
And then for the rest of the week when we wouldn't meet, we'd spend our time researching and we'd spend our time learning coding and stuff like that. But then we couldn't work physically on our prototype.
So with that, we did compromises since we knew each other ever since the 8th grade. Yeah. Then
We were quite acquainted with each other's strengths and weaknesses and skills and capabilities. So it became easier for us to work together and compromise.
yeah, our teamwork played a big role in doing our study.
So teamwork has really played a great role in the completion of our project, which is Project WWW.
If we were placed with a lot of trials and challenges, it was easier for us to adapt because we knew each other inside out.
Yeah, we would know she's good at solving
Yes,
problems.
And she's good with coding.
Yeah.
And she's good with
So we knew how to divide the work.
yeah.
And it made it easier.
Of course, misunderstandings were inevitable, so it's unavoidable. But in the end, because of the nature of our relationship, since we're really good friends, we were able to rise again and we'll be able to deal with all the conflicts.
Mostly palaging ha yung sinasabi namin kapag wala na kaming
Nagbibingian.
Oo.
Pero we wouldn't do it purposely, but we're kind of all half deaf.
yeah, like,
Maybe it's
huh?
because of that.
Ano? Ha?
But we really didn't fight, like I think we were already mature enough
Yeah.
to deal with our problems.
To separate our school life, our personal life, to our research life.
Yeah.
So one factor that helped in making our project a success was the environment that we were in doing our study. Our teachers were very accommodating and we were close relationship-wise.
But of course, we had to follow protocol since it's COVID season. And actually, Dumaguete became a hotspot for a short while.
Yeah, and that was a problem too.
When we were at school, we would share a workspace sometimes with our teacher. There, we would get to chat, following the IATF rules, of course.
Yeah.
And they would motivate us.
They would
cheer
also
us
give
up.
insights regarding our study.
Yeah, and sometimes when we had like misunderstandings, they would moderate our discussions so that we'd reach an agreement.
Overall, despite of the
Many dilemmas.
many dilemmas faced and also the misunderstandings and a lot of trials, we were able to come up with a project that is actually beyond our expectation. So actually we realized that research journey is actually fun and not as boring or as
Yeah.
difficult as some may think. So I think that because of the support and our relationship, our teamwork as well, it made our research journey really fun and exciting.
That's why we fell in love with research.
More.
Yeah. So looking back, what would we do if we were going to do our research again? Like the 10-month research.
Hoy, FYI ha, we already accomplished so much more than we thought of since we really didn't think that we would be part of top 15 and we really didn't think na that we would really create the prototype and put it into life.
It was a big prototype though.
But if we were able to like improve our research, first would be that
To have
more-
a better plan,
Yeah.
because we had like the initial plan was to build a system that can filter out specifically lead and phosphate, but then in the middle we just gave up the phosphate aspect because we think that it'll be time consuming and it will be difficult and complicated to make. So we gave up on that part. So I think if we planned more and we research more about it, we will be able to do or to integrate the phosphate sensor in the whole prototype.
Also, I would say, sana mas mabuti tayo sa chem. Kasi yung chem aspect ng aming study ay, I think, complex for us because it was a new topic.
Which we barely touched on in high school.
There were also a lot of parts and aspects in our research that weren't that discussed.
And then in the part of improvement, we recommend if ever someone's gonna pursue
Our study.
a study related to ours, I think that it's better if we make all the prototype automated, so everything is automatic and we'll have less hassle in
Diretso lang.
One click. Everything's.
No, because in our study kasi, we have to manually put water, manually,
Deal with the wastewater first.
yeah,
And
which would have been harmful actually.
yeah. So those recommendations we have in mind are also innovations. Like innovation, if we hear the word innovation, right? If it's like a new idea, like that, or a complex,
Or an incorporation
of
ideas
ideas
to
and
an
more.
already topic to improve it or to make it more timely.
So if we would imply that to our lives now. I think there are more innovations.
I think that the pandemic doesn't hinder innovations and also creativity. I think that the pandemic strengthened the foundation of innovation. Because of the pandemic, we were able to innovate more things and think of alternatives instead of the normal or the usual things that we were used to. So this pandemic has engaged or has encouraged more innovations to come. So innovations are really important even if we are facing this pandemic right now.
Even simple innovations like creating an organizer for your table, it's an innovation for me, I think. Being a more productive person, like that.
So people tend to think that pandemic should be the main focus of innovations nowadays, but then we shouldn't focus ourselves on the pandemic alone. We have a lot of issues regarding the environment, our dying earth. So we are focusing on the agricultural aspect because we think that there is more to deal with it and that it is more beneficial and
For us in the long run.
for us in the long run.
For the future. And also in agriculture, I recently joined this conference, research and development conference, where they emphasized that the problem in agriculture was before in the pandemic pa, mayroon ng maraming problems. At ngayon mas madami na
Lumalala
kasi
pa.
kasi hindi na nabibigyan ng importance yung mga farmers natin. Kaya yung agriculture mas naglay low.
We shouldn't limit ourselves to the pandemic alone. We should deal with more issues. Kaya nga, we're trying to incorporate many science integrations in our prototype, not limiting to the agriculture part only. We can also solve the water pollution issue. So in that aspect, we can solve many issues at a time.
Also, the highlight in our study, we forgot our lead sensor, our homemade lead sensor. It was, I think for me, a great innovation since we combined the concepts of chemistry
And robotics. Oh wait, no.
and robotics because we used the microcontroller. So basically, our lead sensor was based on the concept of redox, the reduction oxidation, where we used a soldering lead because it has lead ions, then graphite, so they somehow interact and then produce a voltage. And there we use that concept to measure lead in water. So yeah, it's a great innovation.
Innovations are everywhere, and also we should encourage people to come up with more innovations, to come up with more ideas, to stay curious, because it's what keeps the world round.
And I think that maybe people would say that it's hard doing those innovations.
Actually, sa una lang yan.
Oo. Yung saying na the first step is always the hardest, but then after that it's easy.
And actually, you shouldn't take seriously some rejections or criticisms. You may think of it as a motivation, like for us, even if we were discouraged a lot of times, but we weren't really discouraged. We were really we were more pushed to prove them wrong, and then look at us now. Char.
We all know that the world is going round and round. It's always changing. It's always evolving, and that our constant change requires constant adaptations, which could be in the form of innovations.
So you might think that your idea is somehow stupid or absurd, but if you deal with it more, if you research more about that, you will soon realize that your idea might be the solution for a global issue right now. So you shouldn't stop right there. Be more curious and be more research engaged. And
since research now is more important than ever because of our situation, and also
Climate change and pandemic-wise.
so there are more horizons to see. So since at the end of the day,
the sun would set down the horizon and rise again the next day.
And if we encounter horizons, we might say that it's the end, but then it's not the end. There are more to see pala, like to explore. There are different perspectives in how people see things and how they innovate.
so really never stop thinking outside the box. Always stay curious.
That was such an experience they have shared on how their team were able to create and come up with the project WWW, a breakthrough on wastewater management systems. Indeed, it was a spectacular journey filled with science and innovation delivered by our guest. Now, let us give the spotlight to our live MCs, Lucky and Bien, for the open forum and activity.
Ayun nga, partner. We are done with the first part of our lecture. But before that, I just want to greet our speakers as well as our Zoom participants. But first po, can I request for the speakers to open their cameras and microphones?
Hello po, good afternoon.
Good
Yes, good afternoon po. Yes, thank you po. And we'd like to greet po our 376 plus viewers and counting on Facebook Live, the ever hardworking JPCHEB board members, our department and college heads, all the first-year committee that made this event currently possible, and Batangas State University.
A remarkable and scientific afternoon. I am Francis BNC Almerol.
And I'm Lucky Angelo B. Fonte. We hope everyone is doing well holistically.
Yes, partner. Actually, going back to their talk, I was reminded of our study during junior high school. It was Water Distillation and Preservation System of Olupong Falls using solar energy and water controller. So, partner, grabe, sabi ko parang, nagkaroon ako ng parang sabi ko, ay, OMG, medyo related yung study namin. And I was so inspired because as well, like them, I was able to join different contests using that paper. I was able to represent my school in junior high school in the division level and regional level. So parang grabe yung, alam mo yun, parang sobrang nakaka-relate talaga ako and na-reminisce ko yung mga grade 10 experience ko, hardships, how I cried for that paper. And also sobrang naka-relate talaga ako, partner, dun sa financial part. Grabe, partner. Ako talaga ay parang halos umiyak na ako sa nanay ko, Ma, kailangan po namin magpatas ng tubig. And yes, and also yung mga programming. But above all else, I am very thankful to my SDA family during junior high school and to my ASHS family during senior high school for believing, trusting, and honing me into who I am today.
Yes, kung ikaw naman nakarelate ka pagdating sa mga contests, sa school, and sa kanilang mga experiences, ako naman, nakuha ko yung sentiments talaga nila at yung emotions within their Kaya kanina nga sabi ko sa sarili ko, parang grabe, sobrang nakakaiyak talaga because they really inspired me to just, to think out of the box. And I really like how they incorporated the metaphor in our horizon. Yung pagdating mo dun sa horizon, actually, hindi dapat yun yung limit mo. Titingin ka doon and then lalakdaw ka doon. And yun talaga yung talaga nagpa-feel sa akin na, oh, I think sobrang awe-inspiring talaga yung kanilang naibigay. And then, when it comes to experiences din naman, syempre, nagkaroon din naman ako ng iba't ibang, or dalawang actually na study nung aking high school years and experience katulad ng sinabi ni Ate Shona, I think. Sabi niya, yung pag-uulit ng mga ideas, ng mga studies when it comes to ng mga teachers. And yeah, so I'm really, really thankful to our speakers today. But anyways, we are lucky to have you po and extend our sincerest and deepest gratitude for your efforts and to all our speakers today. But we are only halfway through our event, and in this first open forum session, we anticipate po further participation from everyone.
Tama ka dyan, partner. And in this part of our event, we will accommodate the queries and questions of our participants. So I am honored to call on our speakers. Ready na po ba kayo?
Ready na po.
Thank you so much po. And I would just like to remind everyone that the link for where you can send the questions is www.mentimeter.com. And of course, the code is flashed in our screen. And also po, nakapin din po sa ating comment section in the Facebook Live ang ating link for the questions. And also, nakapin din po ito sa ating Zoom meeting. Yes, partner?
Yes, and proceeding po to our first question. Good afternoon po. My question is, how do you view failure as it relates to innovation? When is it part of the process and when is it unacceptable?
I would like to answer that one po. So, how do you view failure po when it comes to innovation? So, I think po, it's not called failure. The moment that you start research, dapat you'll know that there are two ending process that will be happening. So, either you're gonna reject your alternative hypothesis or you're gonna accept it. So if you think na reject mo yung alternative hypothesis mo, your research or innovation is already a failure, but actually it is not. It is actually a great help for other researchers, especially yung mga researchers na trying to look for researches that is similar to yours. They will help them in a way na malalaman nila kung ano yung dapat hindi nilang gawin. So, actually, it is an innovation na kahit hindi mo na-reach yung goal mo na ganito ang mangyari, pero that is a great help na. So, yun po.
Thank you po for your response. I really love how you always see the silver lining in every negativity. Proceeding to our second question pa.
So nowadays, we students busy ourselves with Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and other social media platforms. So how do you think this influenced us in our pursuit of scientific innovations?
Hi, for me, I think that social media platforms are where we get inspiration for our scientific innovations. For me, we experience the hardships through Facebook. We share our hardships through Facebook, through YouTube, and through Twitter, through TikTok. And there we get to see the many problems that other people face. And there we can ask ourselves questions that in turn will become our hypothesis, our problems, to make a research and to make innovations the basis for our scientific innovations. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you po. Actually, I relate to your answer po kasi sometimes this is where I get my inspiration para po mag-move forward. Kasi minsan procrastinate ako using social media, but actually I am with some posts related to studies. Nire-remind po ako na ituloy. Ayun po. Let's proceed po sa next question.
What mindsets, qualities, or talents have you found to characterize top innovators that you most admire, and how does one cultivate these attributes?
So hello po. I think the mindset that really helped us, especially in our study, was being resourceful and being determined, since of course this pandemic gave us a big challenge, like we can't go out and everywhere. That's why being resourceful, like we can get different things from this place only, nandito lang pala, kaya mas easy na. Tapos, also in the talents part, I think nahahasa lang siya kapag palaging nagpa-practice, kaya that's why in research we have trial and errors, so we know what to do next. So kaya nagpa-practice tayo palagi kapag merong innovation, like we create a program and it doesn't work, so the next time we do another process, it's another failure, so we get to practice our talents like that. So I think being resourceful and being determined is a mindset of an innovator.
Yes, thank you po. I really think that din po kasi when it comes to passion and determination, dapat tayo ay push na push. So proceeding po to our next question.
Okay, so my question is pertaining to the participant. My question is, what difficulties or what are the benefits of a student? What benefits a student can obtain when they engage in scientific and technological activities?
Actually po, there are a lot of difficulties when you're starting a research or a study or anything that is related to technological activities, especially if you are a student who is a representative of a school. So, mas maraming pressure and mas maraming difficulties that you'll be encountering over time. Example of these difficulties are yung sinabi nga namin sa talk namin is, I think this is a major one when you are being rejected or being yung sinasabi nila na hindi rejection tapos discouragement. Yun po yung major difficulties I could say na nahihirapan kaming i-deal with, especially if you are still young and you are immature in some ways. So, hindi mo maiisip. Sometimes, diretso lang yung ipag-isip mo na hindi nila gusto. So, maybe my invention or my study is not doing great. Pero actually, there are some people pala na nakikita kung ano ang nasa study mo. And in these difficulties, in engaging in scientific and technological activities, actually, ako po, personally, I thought that I was not into science and or math related things, but when I joined activities like this, I thought to myself that there is no limit onto who's going to participate in this type of activity. So if your one quality is being curious or just being outgoing or just wanted to see more and discover more, I think that you can with participating in scientific and technological activities. So yun po.
Yes po. Also, I find it hard po to turn the negative or maybe we see as negative event into positive to move forward. So, proceeding po tayo sa atin po next question.
Considering your present achievements, what's your next goal or plan of action amidst the pandemic, whether as a team or individually?
For me individually, I would like to take it slow during this pandemic since it's been really hard, it's been really stressful, and I would like to set my own pace. But a goal that I would like to achieve would be that I would improve in my studies and in my skills as a researcher or as a student generally. But as for the team, we were planning to take action into filing a patent for our project, but we are quite unsure of what steps to take as for that action.
Also, I would like to add, since we are three, we are on different paths now, especially in college. One is nursing, pharmacy, then teacher. So I hope in the future, our team still has to collaborate with researchers. Like we got to do one research for a year like that.
Thank you po. I think really, again, mula po kanina, nakaka-inspire po talaga ang friendship nyo. For our next question, partner?
So for the next question, what do you think is the greatest lesson you have learned during the pandemic, not only on the research and development, but in life?
I think kung hindi po sila sasagot, ako na lang po. So, the greatest lesson po is, it may sound cliche, pero you have to be really strong mentally kasi maraming challenges na darating sa'yo, especially in this pandemic. There are a lot of boundaries, limitations na mangyayari sa atin. Hindi na tayo yung freely na makaka-move because of these restrictions. So, I think some of the people na hindi nila kayang i-deal yung sarili nila is yung talagang pinaka na-apektuhan ng pandemic nito. If they are not around people, they think na they are alone and they can't live their life to the fullest. Pero this is a reminder na even if you're alone, it doesn't mean that you have to be lonely. Being alone doesn't directly mean that you are lonely. So you can be still strong, you can still do a lot of things even if you're alone. So yun po yung tinuro sa akin ng pandemic.
Yes po. Parang, di ba, parang ngayong pandemic na feel natin yung being physically alone, but actually, spiritually, we are not alone because we are with God always. So, partner, tama ba ako? Do you agree with me?
Yes, I do agree with you na talagang pagdating sa ating mental health, we have to take care and talagang marami na rin ang tumutulong sa atin at iba't ibang webinars to help us in our journey in different fields. So, ayun. Katulad ng webinar na to, kaya share lang kayo ng share ng ating webinar for more information and knowledge. So proceeding pa to our next question, who are your role models in life and how did they contribute to your research progress?
Firstly po, I think our role models before like we were starting research were our seniors because they have achieved more than we have now. They had to go internationally like that. So we were inspired by them and also by our teachers since they motivated us to go to this research conference like that. So yeah, they are our role models, our seniors.
Thank you po. I think kayo naman po ang aming magiging role models for this webinar. Right, partner?
Yes, partner. Wherein mo yung kanilang dedication to finish their study. Yes. It was very inspiring. Parang maano ka talaga. Parang mahihiya ka na lang pag iniyakan mo yung research.
Yes, and as a big fan actually of friendship, talagang sana all po.
Yes, partner, parang naranasan ko atang masigawan dahil sa research. But actually, it is a nice experience kasi parang you work under pressure and it is, parang improvement din sa iyo. So, let's proceed po to our next question. So, good afternoon po. My question is, as exemplary students entering our first year in college, what message do you wish to give us, other students, in starting our own quest of innovation?
I guess what I would like to say to them is that you should not pressure yourself into doing great at your first in your quest, since we all need to start slow, we all need to start small, and you just need to start good. You need to find inspiration somewhere, and I would like to advise them that they would start something na kanang they're really truly interested in, dili kay not that they're just gonna do it kay it's for their own for the benefit of their grades or for the benefit of, they need to be truly interested in the topic, and I guess that's where you should start in your own quest. That's thank you.
That's really nice po. Parang medyo nabawasan naman po yung pressure namin sa mag-aaral with your answer. We are very, para po kasing minsan iniisip namin na parang sobrang mahalaga yung grades, but actually, thank you for reminding us that our mental health is also important. So, let's proceed.
Yes.
Yes, partner?
Yes, at lalo nalalapit na rin ang ating last hunat. Nakuha ko mula sa kanila ngayon sa finals ngayong December, and we have to take care. Katulad nga ng sinabi ng ating mula sa comments sa ating Zoom, mental health over academic pressure. Our next question, what pursued you po to finish the research, and what can you advise to students like us to be more motivated in conducting researches, since you mentioned that you hated it at first?
Actually po, the rejections and discouragement is a motivation po. Huwag kayong mag-stop. Don't be too discouraged when you hear rejections or discouragements. Kasi if you're gonna stop there, then you're just gonna prove that they are correct na hanggang dyan ka lang. So if you're being rejected, then do not stop and try to do more things na mas interested ka, mas alam mong dito ka makakagawa ng isang invention or innovation that will wow them all. So you want to continue to prove na they are wrong. So you don't take rejections and discouragements really into heart, kasi pag ganon, hindi ka na mag-grow as a person.
Yes, thank you po dun sa tip na rin na po yan. And as a perfectionist, mahirap rin po talagang umakcept ng mga rejections. But I learned din nga po na we have to take these things as constructive criticisms. And dun po tayo matututo. Right, partner?
Yes, partner. Actually, mas nakikilala kita in the process of our webinar. Hindi ko alam na perfectionist ka din pala like me. And also, I am having a hard time, taking or accepting criticisms. And like, when someone asks me to, maybe you can improve yourself in terms of this and that. I mean, I'm having that thinking na may mali ba sa akin, something like that. And parang, minsan nagigising na lang ako na, maybe I am not really perfect and I need to improve also. I need to adjust in our environment, and I need to adjust also to other people kasi hindi naman sa atin umiikot yung mundo. So yun, partner, let's proceed to the next question. Okay po, so what was the question you encountered during the contest, specifically the Q&A proper, that really stumped you and just brought your confidence down?
In our project WW po, I think the judges we were shocked they were amazed, but they didn't really ask us questions. But in our study before, there were a lot of professionals that knew, like, our study was air quality drone, and we were scared at the time because we weren't confident in flying a drone. And they said, like, you can fly a drone, why do this, and why didn't you go far more like that? So our pride at that time was down because, oh, why didn't we do that like that? So
I would like to add din po, one thing that really brought my confidence down before po, yung before studies po namin, is when I was told that my study is weak. Or, bakit walang statistics? Bakit kulang ng ganito? Bakit kulang ng ganyan? And then, it was not just the judges, but also my competitors. They were asking me na, how come na I'm there or I'm one of the participants when my study is not that good enough? But I I met this one judge na sinabi niya sa akin that your process is actually correct and I congratulate you for that kasi yung ibang teams, they have this complete statistics but then their process was not really correct. So yun po, I think po even if you're being down by other people, kahit isang encouragement lang from other or even your close friends, I think hindi totally magiging less confident ka as a person. So, babalik ulit yung confidence mo.
Yes, thank you so much po. While you were sharing your story, I'm actually having goosebumps because I'm reminded of how my professors and how my teachers, how my coaches, my friends support our study. Like parang na-remind ako ng mga times na talagang iniiyakan ko na yung research and just their encouragement na kaya mo pa yan, magpatuloy ka lang, niniwala ako sa'yo, and really, parang mas marami ka ng energy to move forward. Tama ba yun, partner? Do you have experience like that na parang na-down ka na, then parang...
Actually, kasi research was supposed to be the reason kung bakit hindi ako makakagraduate nung grade 10. So, ayun. So, medyo talagang relate ako. But as much as we want more chika from you po, we have our last question. So, what's the secret po for being so proficient pagdating sa research? Ha 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 ha. Thank you po. Heart 3.
I think po, firstly, in the technical part, the paper, like, if you give detail and more heart, mas love mo yung paper, I think kasi yung paper, yung evidence ng iyong research, kaya, when the judges see your paper, it's your trophy, like your ID. So, giving more attention to your paper makes it a more proficient research, like, and also giving time in doing background research and exploring other researches that have been done before, like internationally or locally, for me. Yeah.
So, ayun. Thank you po. And we have a comment din po from Ms. Aguila. Criticism is not bashing po. It's a way to help the project to be better. So, again, we know that there are more questions po that you want our speakers to answer, but we apologize for we only have a limited amount of time. But we duly appreciate po talaga ang pag-send nyo ng query showing your curiosity and support in our event.
Yes po, but sad to say, we have to end our open forum. Alam po namin na marami pa tayong gustong matutunan and marami pa tayong questions, pero hindi naman limited ang ating knowledge and ating learning sa webinar itself. Can we still ask questions po if we have other queries and concerns? And if yes po, kanino po namin ito pwedeng i-address? Speakers? Can we send private messages po if ever na may questions po ang ating participants regarding your study?
Okay
yes
po.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
po. But actually, we would like to take this opportunity to have a photo op po, kung pwede lang po sa inyo.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you so much po. So yan, participants, ready nyo na inyong pang malakasang smile? Because
yes, we request everyone to turn on